If not through unity, then through what must we use to see the cusps of freedom? The days were long and the nights tumultuous, yet fruition of my groundwork is evident. Jamaica, land of the free, oh, how far you have come. The frivolities of passing whims that were laid at our doorstep have dissipated and gave way to long-standing persistence. It wasn't through coincidence or complacency that we have reached this point in history. It would be foolish to say we've stumbled upon freedom, but wise to say we've won it. As a young man, I was afforded the opportunity to see through the fog of disillusionment what was painted with a wide bristled brush, that lie which was equality after slavery. The ones with the darkest skins, the ones whose ancestors toiled in sugarcane and cotton fields, there was ill treatment to the highest order that marred Jamaica from Morant Point to Hanover. For a small island, the vile injustices rivaled that of far larger nations. Yes, it was a time of unadulterated misuse of resources and power among those who had it. But by God, it was a time where men united in a rally for human rights. Unlawful imprisonment and discriminatory killings weren't enough to halt our strides. You should have seen the conviction in men's eyes as they roared with years of repressed anger. Anger towards murder and mutilation. Anger of loved ones gone too soon due to a corrupt system. Anger at the lies and the liberties taken at their expenses. You have never truly seen a man's wrath until you've infringed on his rights. All those years of redirected anger of thousands pooling together to erupt in a productive force that created a wave of change. The exhilaration of recalling sends a rush of adrenaline through my old bones. And the reality that rests before my tired eyes fills me with pride. You've made a choice to make it this far. A conscious decision to choose and choose correctly. You've elected leaders to represent your ideals and morph them into tangible building blocks that future generations can stand tall on. That's a large part of your life here on earth, I've realized. Not to live for yourself, but to do so that those you'll never know and who would have never known you can be granted the opportunity to excel. One of the best ways to do that is to play a role in your society. And I do believe that is what is lacking now. Too many Jamaicans do not know their civic duty. If you constantly eat from a fruit tree and never use those same seeds to replenish the earth, how can you expect to keep eating fruits? I know a part of human nature is to be critical, and that has its place. A large part of my career was to be critical of things around me. But in nature, there must be balance. As I am critical, I am also solution-driven. I met an old woman once, and she had said to me when I was making tongue-lashing points about the state of Jamaica, "Don't sit down pan cow back a cuss cow kin. If you don't like how the cow back feel, come off, or make it to your liking." After my initial shock, I laughed. I laughed due to the resounding truth in her words that took me off guard. You bear the proud title of Jamaican for the privileges we and those who came before us fought to provide. But truly think, will those who come after you in 2 or 3 generations hold the same pride? This land you hark at with disdain is the same land your homes reside on, the same land your children go to school on, the same land you work for your daily bread. These aspects you've grown to normalize were once privileges for the upper class. Know this. A mere 100 years ago, your black son wasn't guaranteed an education. You weren't privy to the possibility of owning land if you were black. You weren't even certain to earn after you've slaved away. Do not mistake my acknowledgement of your privilege as disregard for your genuine concerns. As an activist, someone who was never satisfied with how we were treated on a land many of our ancestors didn't willingly venture to, I understand your pleas. But I won't excuse a lack of social responsibility due to your own misgivings. What is one person going to do is what you may be thinking. I was one man, but I spoke my truth, and you'd be surprised how many share your convictions and are willing to give you their strength. What you lack, your comrades will reinforce. You are speaking, but are your avenues leading you to solutions? Are your words directed towards the source of your dismay, or among others who will keep their qualms like secrets? In this new age, I'm not too familiar with, I do observe it is much more fast-paced than the 20th century. Cars zooming by on smooth roads, planes zipping across the vast skylines. This convenience is such a luxury, but know that there is also luxury to be found in the process. In my years in prison, in my years in the workers' union, in my years in government, I had the luxury of meeting some of the most extraordinary men and women who without, I could never have fought the battles I did. I couldn't rush those 3 years in prison, so I spent them sharpening my mind for what was to come. Understand that delay is different from the realistic amount of time needed to bring a plan to fruition. Understand that planting a seed today doesn't yield fruits tomorrow. So don't apply a new age mentality to problems older than yourself. It won't make do. But in due time, with strength and perseverance, you too would have laid the building blocks as I have for you and as someone else had for me. It seems like my time is up. They're calling back for me, so I must go. But I leave my spirit to guide you. I leave my legacy to remind you that hope is not lost, not as long as you choose to fight for it.